Hello, good morning, Empower Tribe. Welcome back to my channel. We are in the month of June and we are going into the series of women inclusion. And in my last video, we talk about signs of being bullied and the psychology behind why people bully. And this episode, we are going to dive into the different forms of bullying. If you haven't been to my channel, welcome. Her Empowered Life channel is really all about women empowerment, and we share topics with different themes each month. And this month is about women inclusion, and the hope of these videos is that hopefully it will help you identify some of the skills that you would need, and to find out the why, and to be able to armor yourself with some tools in your tool belt. Today, we're talking about different forms of bullying. I'm going to be looking at my computer with my notes. So if I'm looking away, that's because that's what I'm doing. So, how the bully wields power. The bully uses emotional manipulation, flattery, and a pretense of support to gain the trust of potential victims. We all know that, a lot of the betrayal of bullies, they used to probably be our friends and we used to really trust them. And in my last video, I did mention like how people are so guarded these days because we do not want to just tell people everything. And I did share that I was very naive and I used to, just wear my heart on my sleeve, and I still do, but I'm a little bit more selective in what I share, just because, especially people that I don't really know, I don't want to, give information that I feel like, would be used against me down the road, because that had happened to me many times. But I think the main thing is be true to who you are. You don't have to completely switch off, but you can, still be yourself to a certain extent. But also bear in mind what could happen if you do share something, sensitive, topics or sensitive emotions, conversations with people that you don't quite know yet. So according to the world's most famous psychometric test, Myers-Briggs, 73% of women make their decisions based on their feelings. Only 27% of men do. This means that women are focused on how they feel. And if they want to feel good, then they use others to their advantage and manipulate them for their own personal validation. So really, female bullies typically, have low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and a lot of the bullying is really because they are looking to validate their existence, their power, to validate their superiority, because it brings them some sense of accomplishment, in a very sick way. And like I said, sometimes it is not overt, it could be covert. And last video, we did talk about recognizing some of the signs that you could be a victim of bullying, and how to stand up for yourself. But today, we're going to identify the different forms of bullying and the different circumstances that might happen to you. So one form of bullying, which is really, really prevalent right now, is really the trolling that has been happening on the internet. I personally have experienced this myself. As you know, I post YouTube videos, and sometimes people don't really like the content that I share or things that I've said, and so they want to impress upon me their opinion of what I said, and that's completely fine. I'm open to that, and I'm not going to take it personally. But when I was doing my videos at the very beginning, and I'm really, every time I post a video, I get so hopeful. I'm hoping that people would subscribe to my channel. I am so excited to hear good feedback, and a lot of times the good feedback don't show up. It's just a thumbs up. But definitely a lot of not so nice written feedback on comments and stuff. And so I over time have to learn to sift through that and not let it get to me. A lot of times our dreams are crashed because we feel like what's the point? I put in so much effort and people are just trolling me, and then they just stop moving forward with what they actually find passion from. So a lot of people are exposed to this trolling on the web, and I think for me what has worked is either to block people or to not take it personally. Everybody has the right to their own opinions, and sometimes there might be some truth in their feedback, and just take it with a grain of salt. This is what I always tell people that I coach. Take what you can and throw away what you don't need. And sometimes I think that constructive feedback is really good because it can help us get better in our craft. But don't let it get to the core of you where you feel yourself so handicapped and so mentally and emotionally you know invested in those comments, because it's really not worth your time. And just be confident in what you have to say and be confident in what you are doing. And there are always going to be people that would not agree with what you say or not support what you do, but that shouldn't stop you from pursuing what you are passionate about. And online right now, obviously there's also a lot of different like political views, especially right now, Roe versus Wade. Some people are for abortion, some people are against abortion, and some people are in between. And everybody has the right, based on their life experiences, to form the beliefs that they have and the opinions that they have. But I firmly believe that I don't have to convert somebody into my religion, because everyone has the right to their own opinions, and their life experience probably created why they perceive something a certain way or have an opinion or view of certain things, and that's completely fine. So I try to stay away from drama. So I try not to chime in and talk about it too much. But if you want me to share, I will share my thoughts and opinions. But I would try to stay away from things that I don't want to get too involved in, that would I feel counter will be counterintuitive for me. Like I feel like it's not gonna help me. I feel like why put myself in a situation, that's the word, put myself in a situation where I know it's not going to come back positively. But if it's just me and me sharing my opinion, I'm completely fine. But I don't want to kind of essentially go in and rock the boat, which some people do. Another form of bullying is mom bullies. So usually the mom bullies are the ones that also go on the internet and just talk crap about other people, and without really saying the names, or without I think social media has made it really easy to gossip or to spread rumors or to judge people. And a lot of times people just read what they read and assume it's true. And social media has made it really easy to kind of attack people without having any kind of consequence. But I think the main thing is to be able to stand up for yourself, stay away from drama, right? I remember when I was a stay-at-home mom many years ago. My oldest daughter is 22 years old this year, and so that's like at least 20 years ago. When I had her, I was a stay-at-home mom, so I joined this mom group, and with all the stay-at-home moms, and once a week we would get together, we have our kids together, and everybody has different way of parenting. And one of them would love to homeschool their kids. Another one believe in breastfeeding, and all these little different things does cause friction, because it could be that this woman can't breastfeed because she's just not producing enough, or it's not working out for her. But that doesn't mean that her decision to switch into feeding her children with her kid with formula is a bad thing. And some people might be really good at breastfeeding, and their body works with them and they are able to do it successfully. and they want to breastfeed their kids till 18 months, that's completely fine too. So I don't feel like we need to impress upon others what is right and what is wrong, because I think that you don't live their life and you don't know the challenges that they had to go through. Just like my youngest two kids, so different. Actually, my daughter, which is my oldest, I struggle with breastfeeding her because back then I was in Singapore with my ex-husband, and we believe in this thing called confinement. And so, like, basically the woman that just given birth, they have to be confined for a month with her baby in a room. And I mean, she can leave the room. I left the room, but you can't leave the house pretty much. It's very common in Asia. And my ex-husband's auntie was the one that kind of took care of me. And I remember I was a first-time mom, and I was very nervous, and I wanted so much to breastfeed my daughter. And she was just up in my business. She was just like sitting there and watching me, making sure that I'm breastfeeding my daughter right. I mean, just imagine you are so stressed out, you're sweating, you're trying to breastfeed, you don't know really how to, and then you have someone staring at your boobs, like trying to, make sure you're doing it right. And it was too stressful for me for a first time mom to breastfeed successfully. I was very disappointed. I was very stressed out, and I was disappointed myself that I couldn't do it. Fast forward to my fourth kid, I was able to actually breastfeed successfully. Saved us a lot of money. I was able to breastfeed him to 18 months, and that was completely great. And I had a really enjoyable time being able to do that as a mother. And then my fifth kid came, and he was a hunger monger. He was so hungry all the time. And I remember even at the hospital when I'm trying to breastfeed him, it seems like he's just not getting enough milk. And I had to kind of like give him additional from a formula bottle. And that wasn't a good feeling. But by the time I had my fifth baby, I understood and am okay with making the decision of being a happier mom than to stress out and to not enjoy the process. So I just kind of be in the moment and let it go. So I just kind of did like half and half. And then when I had to go back to work, I slowly wean him off. So I didn't breastfeed him till 18 months because it was just too difficult. But by that time, I kind of grew in maturity in my motherhood, where I feel like, what's most important is my mental health, and I can make that decision. And regardless of what people think or what people say, it really doesn't matter. So I think mom bullies like to impress upon you what their opinions are or what their belief is, and and indirectly they make you feel so bad, and that's completely fine. Or some parents are like no to electronics, and maybe you are okay and open to letting your kid play 3 hours on the Xbox. You know what I mean? Like, everybody raises their kids differently. Doesn't mean that someone that exposed their kid to 3 hours of Xbox is a bad mother, and you don't understand what's going on in their day-to-day life. Maybe they work at home and they have to, be able to focus on their job, and that's the only way that they could, know that their kids are safe and entertain, and they are able to focus on their work. But then after that time, she's just fully committed. So I think that what's important to me is really to not take anything people say personally. Be firm in what you believe. Be okay with not being the same as some other people. And people are going to say what they're going to say, and that's completely fine. You just have to be sure of yourself and what your convictions are, and understand, like, you are not that person. Don't compare yourself to another person. And I know that there's some mean moms that are very in your face about it, and this is what I would do, is I would just voice my opinion. I know that when I was in Asia, the women are very, what I call, passive aggressive. They kind of like very sneakily like share their opinions, but then they kind of want to impress upon you and want to try to convert you, but then they are not outrightly saying it, but then they say it to your other friends about what they think of you. I think those behavior, like I said in my previous video, teach people how to treat you, meaning call them out. So if someone is, you know, very, very like convicted in breastfeeding a kid, for example, just say, you know, I understand that, you know, you feel that way about breastfeeding, and I appreciate, you know, your opinion. But for me, I'm more focused on my mental health, and I want to make sure that I'm feeling 100% and not stress myself out over something that I feel I cannot manage. And, you know, I would appreciate if you could just keep your opinions to yourself and, you know, not judge me based on my choices. Everybody has the right to their choices, and that's it. You know, basically, what you're doing is you're sharing with them your opinion, appreciate their opinion, but let them know I can make my own choice and let me just get with my life, and you can just get on with yours. Simple. So I know it, like I said, it's a muscle that you need to build. It's not something that come right away, but the main thing is do not compare yourself with somebody else, because the main intention of the bully is to really get at you, to make you feel lousy about yourself, right? And I think the very natural reaction is you want to react. You might be really upset, you know, you might be mad or whatever. But the best way to tackle these bullies is to remain calm, to state your point, to let you know you hear them, but to let you know I am still the one that's going to make the decision. So just leave me be, pretty much. And calling them out, you know. And the other thing to really think about in terms of mental health when it comes to bullies is pick your battles. You know, some things are just not worth fighting for, and no sense wasting your breath and trying to like convince this person why you are doing the way you're doing it. It really doesn't matter. Like I said, when if you're sure and content with your choices, you don't have to prove others wrong, and you don't have to convince others that your way is correct. It's just a matter of accepting their opinions and accepting your circumstance and your opinions and your choices, and move forward from there. So don't feel like you have to, you know, justify your choices. And, you know, own your parenting style. You know, my parenting style is very in between. You know, there are certain things I'm very strict on, and certain things I'm picking my battles on, and that's completely fine. And some parents are like black and white. And, you know, I was raised in a very strict family, and I feel like I cannot breathe, and I feel like I can't go to my parents. And so my parenting style is I want to be firm but fair, and I want to be approachable. I want my kids to be able to come to me with any problems and not fear that their mom is going to judge them. That's my philosophy. So however I can use that with my children and make choices for my children, that's what I would do. So there's no right or wrong. Everybody's different, but own your parenting style and own your parenting choice, because end of the day, it's your kids, it's your life, it's your family, it's your happiness. So don't let other people, you know, define or make you feel bad about your choices. And one thing that I think that has helped is really understand that not everybody is going to be on your side. Not everybody is going to have the same viewpoint on stuff. But you can always be able to find people who have similar values as you are, and you will find that, you know, you will find your own tribe. And there were many times in my, you know, life where I feel like, why are people not like me? Why do they think like that? Am I different? Am I weird? Am I whatever? But I realized that, you know, there is all sorts of people on earth, and not everybody is like you, and maybe the circle of friends that you have are not the right ones for you, and it's okay, and you will be able to find someone that has the same value, that has the same outlook, that has the same, you know, practice, or the same, and then where you, that's where you feel like you belong. Not that anybody that is in front of you you belong. So you have to kind of be able to figure that out for yourself. And don't be secluded. Don't shut yourself out because the people around you are not like you. You know, you are always free to make that choice to go find somewhere that you truly belong. So know that you have the power to do that. And the other form of bullying is bullying at work. A 2009 survey of 1,000 American workers released by the San Francisco-based Employment Law Alliance found that 45% of respondents had been bullied at work, and that 40% of the reported bullies were women. Bullies were women. They reported that female bullies directed their hostilities towards other women 80% of the time, up 9% since 2007. Male bullies, by contrast, were generally equal opportunity tormentors. That's not really a good thing to be, but a 2011 survey of 1,000 working women by the American Management Association found that 95% of them believed they were undermined by another woman at some point in their careers. We know that some work environment can be a toxic place to be, and especially when you are working with a bunch of women, it can get catty. And obviously we know that we are falling behind our male counterparts, but as women I feel like we need to band together, but unfortunately that's not true in the workplace environment. For people who want to climb up the corporate ladder, and I find like there is a lot of catty competition happening, and there's a lot of female bosses who are female bullies, and I personally have experienced that myself. They will gaslight you. They will undermine your work. They will put you down. They will make you second guess your ability. They will gossip behind you. They will tarnish your name. They will do whatever it takes to make them feel more superior. Especially when you're someone that is capable and you actually know your job and do your job well. Sometimes that could be just a target on your back because people find that very threatening, right? Because they know that this girl has got her shit together and she can go places, and I don't want this person to get ahead of me, and so I am going to undermine her however way I can. I know it's a very sick thing to do, but trust me, these people exist. And so the main thing is, I've always been someone that want people to judge me by my work and not judge me by how I appear or whatever. And so be a firm believer of who you are. Stand up for yourself. I stood up for myself. I quit my old job. I let my boss know that, it is not okay for her to treat me that way. What she does is not right, not ethically right, not morally right. I don't feel like I need to. I was very sad because I feel like my name was tarnished because she had said a lot of mean things and bad things about me, and change people's mind about me, and gossip and rumors and all that stuff. And end of the day, after staying in that place for 12 years, I told myself, enough is enough. I need to teach them how to treat me. And yes, I'm going to lose my job, but I am going to fight for what I believe in. And I'm going to, put a kibosh to that so she can go suck it up. And I did that. I'm in such a much more happier place. And there are going to be bullies that you can freaking tell them in their face. You can freaking set your boundaries. You can freaking do everything. And they still continue to torment you. And let me tell you, ladies, it is not worth it. It is not worth it for you to stay in a place day after day and just, subject yourself to those kind of treatment because you are worth it. My philosophy is, if you can't see my worth, goodbye. I'm going to go somewhere else. Was it a hard decision? Very, very, very hard, because your job, you need your paycheck to go pay your mortgage and all this stuff, and you have responsibilities, especially as a mom, as a parent. Like, there is a lot of responsibility. You can't just say, I'm gonna quit my job today and then tomorrow will be fine. Nobody has like freaking Nasdaq in a savings account. Not all of us do, but end of the day, it's not worth risking your mental health. And that was a big piece of it was like I just find myself deteriorating no matter how strong I was, because end of the day, if you get beat down every day, it will get to you. But end of the day, you got to tell yourself, like, they are not going to be there for you forever. You are. So you got to think about who are the people that matters to you. Is it worth it? After you make your point for so long and things doesn't change, then it's time for you to go find something else. But do not allow these people to get away with it. Whatever you need to do, report to HR, get a lawyer, whatever. Do what you got to do to make your point. And end of the day, if it is not worth it, then you just gotta find something else. And I always believe that doors will open for you. If and it does take that leap of faith, right? It does take that risk. But for me, the risk has been worth it. Was it easy? No. Was there a lot of nights of crying and being depressed and being lost and not knowing, where I was gonna go? It's very scary. It is. But the payoff is huge. So I really want to kind of impress that upon you, that regardless of where the bully come from, whether they are mom bullies, they are work bullies, they are acquaintances, there is so many different forms of bullying. And I feel like those different examples that I set for you can come from all these different circumstances and situations that you're in. But don't back down. Do it respectfully. But in the end, make sure that your self-worth and your self-esteem is intact and your mental health is intact, and be sure and firm about who you are, because that is one thing that would be unshakable and nobody can take that away from you. They can say shit about you all day long, but if you know who you are and you firmly believe in who you are and you're confident in who you are, nothing anybody say can get to you. So be as firm as you can in who you are, as much as you can. This is what I coach my ladies on. If you are struggling with that, please check out my website, www.herempoweredlife.com. Here's where I help coach you. I help you find your gifts. I help you be able to be sure and firm in who you are, because then you are really indestructible. Nobody can get to you. I'm not saying that that's going to happen forever. We are human beings. We will fall short and we will doubt ourselves once in a while. But in order for you to really reach the next height in your career, reach the next height in your family life, you really need to be very firm in your belief and be very firm with unshakable faith of the person that you are, because I can tell you 100%, nobody can take that away from you. And that's why I'm so passionate in coaching other women to be able to find that in themselves, so that they can find so much joy and happiness in embracing who they are, embracing their life, and welcome new things in their life, because then they are not struggling and fighting themselves and at war with themselves because they're just not sure and they are lost. So I want to be that help for you. I hope this video serves you. If you like my channel, please subscribe, please share and like. And if you have any feedback, please drop that down in the comments below, and I would love to listen to your feedback and how this video has affected you, and hopefully it's helped you be able to think about your next action if you are a victim of bully. Well, ladies, until our next video, I hope to see you again, and you have a fabulous day, and know that you're powerful and you are able to make that change, and you are able to get the life that you want for yourself. Bye now.